Hello, my name is Fran Rodriguez, and during the day, I'm a senior program officer with the Lancaster County Community Foundation. Me llamo Fran Rodriguez. Por el día, trabajo en el Lancaster County Community Foundation y después de las horas de trabajo, me gusta estar en la comunidad. When COVID-19 arrived in our community, it was a couple of days after my birthday, March 11th, and I remember the team huddling, thinking about what are we going to do next. And we quickly decided that we would be working remotely. And I was the first one to begin that process. I'm currently in my second year of surviving lung cancer. And during that time, I was still somewhat getting acclimated to being at work. So it was really hard. You never really know when your superpower, your resilience is going to come through for you until you're facing a moment of darkness. And COVID-19 was that moment for me. I needed to remain optimistic and healthy. I really felt that my community was counting on me. And because of that, I built up this, kind of hopeful way of living every single day. Our community foundation was not prepared for what happened, obviously, but we knew precisely what to do in terms of identifying dollars from the really generous donors in our community, and the Lancaster Cares Fund was established. People of color have faced many atrocities for centuries, right? And so Black and brown people in Lancaster, I have been urging friends and acquaintances in the community that this is the right time to step forward and get vaccinated, not only for yourself, but also for family members and for the community at large. This year was, I think, an added layer of shock. My older sister, Lydia, who lives in Atlanta, I hadn't seen her in maybe 5 years. I get a call that she's in the ICU, and then 2 days later, she was on a ventilator. You believe it, but you don't really know the impact of this pandemic until someone that close passes away. It's definitely real. Union Community Care had that day of healing at Longs Park, and it must have been 100 degrees outside. But I felt that was my ability to mourn Lydia and to say goodbye and yet to have a moment for her. This is a time for our communities to come together. There is no space for thinking about oneself. This thing is so much bigger than us, and it's only by way of working together that we're going to see this through. Get vaccinated.
It's morning. Wake up, guys. It's TCP in the morning.
Wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up! Wake up!
Wake up! Wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up. It's TCP in the morning.
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 It's TCP in the morning. It's TCP in the morning.
TCP in the morning.
It's 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 TCP in the morning.
Good morning. Wake up, y'all. It's TCP in the morning with the morning tea.
Sing the song here in a minute.
TCP in the morning.
Brush your ass because your morning team is back. To take a little flow from my friend brother DJ Flow. Wake up! Here we go!
Uh-oh.
Hey! Here we go! Hey!
Show!
To the back! Hey! To the left! Hey! To the right! Hey! Let me! Hey! Let me! Hey! Hey! What do you do? And start! What up, man?
What up, what up, what up? How y'all doing? Happy Monday.
Yeah, man.
Welcome to the show. Let's go, y'all. I hope y'all ready for a great show today.
Yes.
You know, we tuned and locked in. I had a great weekend. I'm re-energized, and I'm ready to go. I hope y'all ready to go. First time tuning in, let's go. Let's do this thing. Lady L, what up?
What up?
Hi, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, Dr. Kayla Tiegler, I see you on IG. Good morning, guys. Good morning. It's your girl, Lady L, and I'm so glad that you are with us for another day in Black History. Welcome to the Culture Professional TCP in the Morning Show.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you for watching. Listen, if you show us some love, share the stream, and don't forget, we're giving away a family 4-pack of tickets to the Ware Center to the Oral Tradition Show going down this Saturday, February 12th at the Ware Center. We're going to be giving away a family 4-pack, and we're also going to be giving away a family 2-pack. So listen, stay tuned, share the stream, but like I said, we're going to be sharing these tickets, so stay tuned so you can learn how to win them. I can't wait. I'm so excited. How was your weekend, everybody? And don't forget, I got a bomb Black formation quote for you all today. Don't forget, we still talking about these banned books. Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Over to the desk.
Over to the desk. Folks, my name is Marquise Lupton, also known as DJ Quiet Storm.
DJ Quiet Storm.
One of 3 hosts, one of 4 personalities on this thing we call TCP in the morning, the best thing that you can have in your cup. Good morning, folks. Don't be rude. Say it back.
What up, though?
We are giving you what you need, what you want, and what you didn't even know existed. We have a jam-packed boom show for you today. But before we get to the rundown, let's send it over to DJ Double O.
You know, can't call it, man. Always glad to be here with the morning show family. I'm looking for y'all in the comments. We got a bunch of people already in there saying good morning. But I know Dragon Sticks ain't say good morning. Ashley Quigley, she ain't say good morning.
Oh, yeah, she did. She behind.
Quayshawn Davis ain't say good morning. Perseus Gross ain't say good morning. But hey.
Oh, he called him out.
We here looking for y'all to say good morning on back.
Hey, good morning. I am TJ Griffin. Good morning.
But for the people we can't see,
For the news, man.
For the people we can't see, that Double O to shout it out. Sabrina Hernandez wrote good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
Lisa said good morning, fam.
Yeah.
Todd said good morning, fam. Rebecca said good morning. Ashley said good morning. Sean said good morning. And Corinne said good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Dr. Kayla Tiegler, of course, said good morning.
Hey.
I am TJ Griffin, said good morning. And Forever Blessed Duplay says good morning. Morning,
hey,
guys.
what up, though? Let's go.
Good morning to you all. Again, you could have been anywhere else on Facebook or Instagram, but you decided to be here with us today. And for that, we say, boom, thank you, adieu, and welcome to the show. Like we said, we have a jam-packed show for you today. On the rundown, on the docket today, the rental assistance, we're going to give you the update on that. Where are the funds? Where does it lie right now as we speak? Also, the latest on the cannabis industry. Some shocking health details just came out, so we will be talking about that in the first hour of the show. Also, Goodwill workers accused of taking expensive items for themselves. I thought that was a thing. I thought that because I'll tell you this, when I worked at Community Aid, I'll save that story for when we have that story. And finally, a Memphis Black Lives Matter founder is slapped with 6 years for voter fraud. But there's been other more heinous voter fraud cases where white men,
fraud.
Real fraud, where the white men only receive 6 months probation.
If they got
probation. And these are men that voted themselves, and then whether it was a deceased parent or a deceased spouse, they then put that vote in for them as well.
Make it make sense, Jesus.
This lady did not do that, but we will get into those shocking details and give you your America on a Monday. So, I think it is about that time. Keisha, good morning to you. Great to see you on the stream as always. So, I think it's about that time.
Uh-oh.
Look,
y'all feel it?
For all those people that don't know, you know, we like to give you a little pre-clue to your news.
I'm gonna take
you
the
know,
gate off.
warm you up a little bit. Get you ready. You know, have a little fun. Then we get to it. Sing it with us. Hey,
Time to give the people, yeah.
Give the people what they want.
And that's the news.
With a shimmy.
Thanks for stopping by. Our first story for today, folks. Scott Alman says, good morning, good morning.
Good morning,
to
what
you,
up,
Scott.
brother?
All right. So, folks, again, if you are in the comment section, if you are viewing this program, say good morning. Don't be rude.
Say it back.
Yes. So, our first story of today, folks, like I said, takes us to everything Hershey. Takes us to
Right up the
everything
street,
Hershey.
right up 283.
Right. So we all know that Valentine's Day is in 7 days. I'll say it again for all those that didn't hear me because I gotta say it like the ring. 7 days. 7 days.
7 days?
7 days. 7 days. So just when you thought, you know, things can't get any worse or anything like that, Hershey to raise candy prices amid historic inflation. The dollar store ain't the dollar store no more. You know, there's no such thing as a $20 DVD anymore.
Dollar menu don't exist.
Dollar menu don't exist, right? They just smoothly took that away.
I still be looking though. I still pull up like
faded into oblivion. Just
Yeah.
come on.
Yo, you roll up, you like,
$2 menu.
I ain't gonna hold you. I'll be looking for the dollar menu on DoorDash. I'm like, oh, they ain't got it on here either.
and then DoorDash charges you 10 to deliver that dollar menu.
Good. Should have just went and got a meal.
Right. So Hershey to raise candy prices amid historic inflation just in time for Valentine's Day. Central Pennsylvania's favorite chocolate products will cost a little bit more. Like my Spanish teacher used to say, sorpresa, sorpresa. So this comes from Fox43.com. On the latest victim of ever-increasing inflation, Central Pennsylvania's favorite chocolate company, the Hershey Company, announced last week it will implement list price increases across all segments, meaning the cost of products like those beloved Reese's, Kit Kats, and Hershey Kisses will be increased in price come Valentine's Day. Surprise, surprise. In the company's fourth quarter 2021 earnings conference call, Chairman and CEO Michelle Buck stated that although 2021 delivered a record year of production and double-digit sales and earnings growth, the company needs to offset recent inflation and production disruptions. Buck noted that widespread cases of the Omicron variant of COVID-19 resulted in higher absenteeism and pressured production throughout Hershey facilities and Hershey suppliers. Despite heroic efforts and a record year of production, we were unable to keep pace with accelerating consumer demand, said Buck. In a conference call last week, Buck predicted fulfilling recovery efforts will likely last until the second half of the year. The overwhelming amount of COVID cases throughout the company occurred as the United States continues to grapple with the latest inflation increase in 40 years. Steve Voskuhl, Hershey's chief financial officer, explained raising the prices on Hershey products will help the company offset the majority of its inflation. He noted prices of sugar, dairy, packaging materials, and specialty ingredients are all swiftly rising in cost. In addition to raising prices, Voskuhl said the company is hiring more workers to help relieve its current staff. However, noting the Hershey Company has successfully navigated previous volatile economic environments in the past, he expressed optimism for this year. We are pleased with where we ended the year and the momentum we have entering 2022. Hershey's announcement comes as several other companies have increased prices in recent months. Starbucks just announced a price hike on its products last week, And production giants like General Mills and Procter & Gamble have also steadily introduced price increases in 2021 and 2022. So again, folks, regardless of, record sales, right, Sarge?
Mm-hmm.
Record sales, they said, we still have to raise prices. To tell a little story, I tell a whole bunch of stories on this show. To tell a story, used to work for Blue Cross. And in our year, we had record sales, record sign-ups and everything like that, and retention. It was a great year for Blue Cross. We had a 93% retention rate. And this new vice president came in, and she had all the excitement and vigor. You guys did a great job. It was a record year. And the first thing she did was lay off 25 people because we can make more. And so when I see this, regardless of the record sales, you know what? We had record sales last year with our stuff priced, a percentage less. Let's hike it up. And then we had the price hike on top of record sales. More money. Disgusting. Capitalism at its best. Sarge.
Look, we're going to see an increase in price over the next more things in 2022. They're going to continue to get more expensive. We talk from housing to food to clothing, heating costs, gas, dining out, cars, computers and electronics, furniture, medical care. All these things are going to jump up in prices. And is that due to what? I thought we're still in a pandemic. Businesses had to shut down. They lost all this money. So why are they all of a sudden raising prices again? Like, what changed?
Right.
Did the federal minimum wage go up? Like, I'm trying to figure it out. Like, you guys blame, like, we can't blaming inflation. These magical numbers that people pull out. You know, like, hey, well, you know what? What if we do this, this, and this? Well, then we can get this, and this. No, it's the wrong way of doing things.
It's not how this works.
Yeah.
It's not how none of this works.
And that's why people say we're going to continue to see a wage gap, the wage gap. We're going to see there's going to be no more middle class.
Right.
These are going to be the things that wipes the middle class out. All right, because either you're rich or you're poor.
Right.
All right, so and this is what we're getting to, because now how people are going to eat, how people are going to live. All right, you want to help people, help people. How's this help?
And ain't nobody giving up their chocolate. Like that is something, two things that we know that Americans aren't giving up is chocolate and coffee. Lady L, let's bring you into this.
That's really interesting because when I choose to have chocolate, I want it to be like Ferrero Rocher or the frou-frou stuff, because that compared to Hershey's is real chocolate. And that's when I stopped really messing with Hershey's, when I started to have. When I met you and your mom would have that stuff, and I was like, this is why people lose their mind over chocolate. This is what it's supposed to taste like, not Hershey's Kisses. That ain't it.
That good old Godiva.
Yeah, Godiva. But it's crazy because when you think about inflation and just the rising cost of workers and things of that nature, you would think that it would even out the cost. So you shouldn't necessarily have record profits, but you should be just leveling out theoretically. So since the pandemic, since 2020, they have had an increase in sales with people working from home, with people purchasing more items at home, with remote work. They are actually hoping that causes them to make more money. People, comfort eating and stuff like that. They're banking on that. Not just that, but they also like to blame that some of their price increase were a product of sugar, dairy, and packaging materials going up in cost. But you've already covered the cost of that. You see what I'm saying? However, I did see an interview with one of its executives saying that they do believe, Hershey believes that their customers will continue to accept the higher prices because of loyalty to its products. They don't want to switch to another brand. And that is a part of why they are doing this. But they said they'll be careful to watch the sales and see how it goes. But if you're raising your prices, if I stop purchasing, it doesn't matter, because what used to be the cost of one, I'm going to buy one and it'll be the cost of three.
Right.
So either way, you're making up for me not purchasing your stuff anyway because you're going up in cost.
Right. And they've laid off what they say is a small number of individuals back in October because those individuals did not meet the latest safety requirements of COVID. So like their labor field, their labor force isn't as massive as it once was. On top of getting record sales, it just seems like they want to make money hand over fist. They got a little taste of, oh my gosh, we made, and I'm just throwing this frivolous number out there right now, but we made $1 trillion this year, during a pandemic. Now we're, on the other side of it, we could probably make more. Like Lady L just said, people, they're going to be home now. That Snackosaurus Rex is going to be raging, all day.
And this is what should be going on, because while this is happening, the U.S. farming income is expected to fall as costs for fertilizers and other productions expenses climb sharply. All right, so why they have this group of people here focused on the wrong things, focused on, stop the vote, we were cheated. Let's, what I mean? Black lives don't matter, this and that. You have these people here that should be focused on what?
Meanwhile, they're coming for your paycheck.
Yeah, they're coming for your money. They're coming for your your well-being. And then you think you're worried about liberals or Democrats coming to take your land, take your guns. No, it's not them. They start by this is how it starts. It's still big money. Right. They don't care how much. They don't care what color your skin is.
The distractions are very real.
Yeah.
Right.
This is a serious issue.
Yeah. So, with this, I also just wanted to add in that I think that they are exploiting the relationship with their customers. And that's always something to think about as a consumer when you're buying products. And I think that's why you need to stay in the know with what you're buying, who they're hiring, what are they into, because that ultimately, impacts you. If I support Hershey and I love Hershey, that's going to impact me, right? So now I may not be going to the Hershey Theater this year to go see Paw Patrol, right? Because prices are rising all over, and Hershey is a conglomerate. They don't just have the candy. They have a theme park. They have a theater. They have a whole town.
And all of that, the price of all of that is going up.
And that's just something to be mindful of. Like, and again, Sarge had mentioned it earlier. It is then what? It's expanding the wealth gap. Yep. It's expanding the wealth gap. It's disproportionately going to impact people of color. And it's just something that we need to be mindful of. It really, really is.
And according to this, the National Restaurant Association released the 2022 State of the Industry report, where it noted that the industry expects to create an additional 400,000 jobs and generate almost $900 billion in sales. So we're talking about, with things being on the other side of this pandemic, actually improving and not getting worse. So with projections saying, things for restaurants and companies that deal with food, things are projected to go very well this year. It feels like they're getting ahead of things. They're like, if things are going well, we're going to make sure that it goes very well.
For us.
Right. And increase these prices and then blame it on inflation. Mm-hmm. Blame it on COVID.
I mean, it's a fair excuse. I'm not going to disagree with that. Mm-hmm. But when you get into the actual crux of the information, you realize how predatory the behavior is. Right? Like, this isn't them looking out for us at all, right? This is them monetizing us, looking at every opportunity to maximize profits, and really taking advantage of, like Lady L said, consumer loyalty, right? I love M&Ms. Right? I'm not going to stop buying M&Ms.
Right.
I'll pay the extra $1. Why?
Especially if
I love M&Ms,
and especially if like those M&Ms were a part of your routine all pandemic. When I started working from home, I would have M&Ms at noon. I would have M&Ms, sandwich, and a soda.
Yeah.
And I'm having that. And when I go to the store and see that M&Ms are up $1, I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna get them. I'll be like, dang, they're extra $1.
Let me get them M&Ms.
Exactly. and go about my situation. Go ahead, Sarge.
My thing is that these companies that are screaming inflation, 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 how much money did they really lose?
They made money.
And let's go. Let's talk about the jobs they've cut, the jobs they've taken overseas.
Right.
You know what I mean? All these things that they've done. You know, yet you want us to be okay with you raising the prices. All right. So prior to the pandemic, you guys were eating. Like you guys were making money. You were making money. You continued to make money during the pandemic. The government made sure you made money.
Yeah.
You know, and if you weren't making money, they were giving you the money so you didn't have to pay back.
Yeah.
You can get a PPP loan, like as the Lakers.
Right. Joke.
Get a loan like Tom Brady to buy a yacht, and then what you do, you rent the yacht out. It's my business.
Right.
You know, like, so there's different things. Like, don't say inflation, inflation, inflation when you're still living in your mansion. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are still living the good life, screaming inflation. Don't make the American people pay for your richness.
Look, I'm waiting for some billionaires to jump off the side of a building because they done gone broke.
Nah, well.
That's what I'm waiting for. I want these. If your net worth is over, I don't know, $10 million, I say let's cut all your stuff down and you have to live with $60,000 a year.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Robert Woodard said, good morning. Keisha said, good, how about you? Rebecca said, thank you at Patients Are Waiting and TCP for the event Friday night. I got my booster, no side effects. And enjoyed the music and met Sophie F. Thomas and enjoyed her kebabs and dirty rice. Yeah, we did too. She said, so good. You all provided a great night. Well, thanks again. We're going to do it one more time.
One last time.
This Friday. Taekwon says they came for Valentine's Day. Indeed, they did. James, good morning, James. He said, good morning, crew. Good morning to you.
What up, though?
Candace says, greetings, CCP family. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you as well. Glad that you can join us. Corinne says, my question is, why do they make products smaller after the price hike? Like, why? Because they figured, we can shave off a couple, diameters of this M&M.
And I mean that's across the board. Yeah. Like even if you look at your cereal boxes, if you look at your noodles, if you look at like a lot of your like dry canned items and stuff,
down.
Yeah, those measurements are off. Yeah. I'll be looking, I'm like, this is supposed to be 16 ounces. Since when is it 14 ounces? Like,
listen, they've been getting us since we were shopping at the corner stores, getting a bag of hip hop snacks.
Oh!
Hip hop getting open in all air.
Oh, right.
That honey barbecue smells so good.
You paid
and then you
6 chips.
got like, yeah.
Put your whole hand.
Oh, come on, man.
And it's crazy because I have not bought, and I remember thinking about inflation, thinking about back as a child going to the corner store. I remember when Swedish fish, now laters, and those type baked beans or Boston baked beans, I remember when those items went up. I remember when the fish went from 5 cents to 10 cents. And now they run you about a quarter.
Yeah.
And then now in Philly, there are certain stores that'll just fill up a bag with them and it's $1. And you get like 7.
Yeah.
And so like when you think about, even as a kid, that had like a detrimental impact. Like I wasn't having as much candy. So now what about as an adult? What about as an adult with kids in your house to feed or multiple people in your house to feed? Like the cost of all of those items, like imagine that fish representing food for a family.
You got a budget in your recreation now.
You do. I remember, and I might have been sharing this with Sarge, when it was just us, when we were living in Lancaster, we would pay about $75, and that would get us through about 2 weeks of groceries.
Oh my, that was pre-kids. that was like 15 years ago.
But even so, it's $75. Nowadays, you're literally getting 2 items.
No, that's gonna
at
get
the
you
grocery
through
store.
3 days.
And it's bad. And then that's why we have to get back to supporting small local-owned businesses. We think, maybe I'll just get my own farm, have some cows, garden. No, all right. Everything is going up. Higher feed prices. All right, so it's going to cost you more money to feed your animal now.
Yeah.
All right, so hey, but if you're working a minimum wage job, maybe they'll increase the prices. Like you can't take this away from people. This affects everybody.
Okay. Before we go to our next story, folks, Rebecca says this is a great time to support your local chocolatiers. Laura's Handmade Chocolates, Wilbur Chocolates, etc.
And Brownie Pop Co.
Right. There's a chocolate company, Wilbur's, Liddit's, right up the road. Let's
Missy's is right in town.
Yeah, let's support locally.
And TCP, we always got chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate. We give you 2 hours of chocolate.
2.
Hope you don't get diabetes. Scott says, you're talking about the people who are in their own little world and are not going to take less money home and live comfortably in their own little world. Sad. Absolutely. Gary says, good morning. Billionaires benefit from high inflation. The stock market is at an all-time high. And then Corinne says, yeah, shaking my head. We about to be going hungry again because groceries are just ridiculous. And it comes down to, what happens when, you squeeze people and they become desperate. Mm-hmm. That's a situation that we have to watch out for as well. Folks, before we move on to our next story, we want to let you know that this Saturday, there is a stories and songs in the oral tradition by the master storyteller, Charlotte Blake Austin. And this event is being held at the Ware Center. We are giving away tickets at 9 p.m. That is in 28 minutes. We have a family 2-pack.
9 a.m.
Not 9 a.m. Sorry, 9 a.m. We have a family 2-pack and we have a family 4-pack that we are giving away. The only thing you got to do today, folks, you don't have to answer no questions or anything like that. You just have to call up. 717-992-5569, 717-992-5569. Call up at 9 o'clock, and it's on a first-come, first-served basis. If you want the 2-pack, you got the 2-pack. If you want the 4-pack, you have the 4-pack. What is going down? Well, from 12 to 1, there is a creative hands-on activities for children being held at the Ware Center, and then from 1 p.m. Until 2 p.m., there is the master storytelling with Charlotte Blake Austin. Again, folks, we have the tickets for you. We will get them in your hand. This is an amazing event happening at the Ware Center. Again, call up 717-992-5569. Sarge, our next story.
All right. So our next story comes out of Fayetteville, actually.
Oh.
All right. So military-connected students are to receive tuition-free scholarships from Fayetteville State University. Fayetteville State University announced the new military tuition scholarship on Thursday, February 3rd, which will provide free tuition to military-connected students starting fall 2022. According to a statement released by the HBCU, Darnell T. Allison, the chancellor at FSU, announced the initiative during a ceremony held at Fort Bragg Army Base in North Carolina. Fayetteville State University is proud to be the premier destination, not just in North Carolina, but in the nation, for educating military-connected students, Allison said. FSU is perfectly positioned here in the Sand Hills region to change the landscape on how we think about the workforce ready in today's ever-changing job market and how we, in higher education, can support veterans and their families in their transition to the civilian workforce. We're excited to announce the military tuition scholarship fully paid to further support those who sacrifice for our nation in their next chapter in life. The statement notes that Allison also disclosed a report on FSU military student support service and performance compared to other HBCUs. According to the study, deeds, not words. FSU's Call to Serve, conducted by the public relations and consulting firm, they have FSU ranked as the top HBCU for students with military connections based on academic outcomes and programmatic offerings. In addition, the report says that FSU is placed in the top 3% of its peers for the return of investment. Military veterans are diverse professionals who have unique skills and experience, making them invaluable contributors to any organization or community, Colonel Pence said. With Fayetteville State University's affordable and flexible degree programs, along with the military tuition scholarship, service members and their families can successfully complete a degree or certification on their own terms. Fort Bragg is truly thankful for the support of local colleges and universities who make it possible for service members and their families to continue their education. So, here we go. I think it's a great thing across the, and I know in Pennsylvania and some states, National Guard members get to go to school for free, and it's open to all state schools. And I think doing that would be great. Opening up HBCUs, opening up all HBCUs to the same thing, being able to get the funding as well for veteran-connected kids is good, because then it helps your kid not only, just pick a state school, but think outside the box.
Yep.
For those veterans of color that want their kids to attend HBCUs.
I'm going to say this. Leo, AJ, Talea, and that's it. Nate, we all know where y'all going to school. We all know where you're going to school. So pack up, buckle up, and get ready. I love this. I absolutely love this. There's two universities that come to mind. Jackson State has a version of this, and Morgan State has a version of this as well. And I know this because my family, my great uncle, his lineage, they all benefited, from him serving and then them being able to go to Morgan State or Jackson State, to the point that he was a dean at Jackson State and a dean at Morgan State. So like, it's not just with kids attending, it's with employment as well. Like this is an economic changer. It's an economic game changer because it can literally take you from one situation to the next, and that's what should be offered to the families of our Black and brown veterans. I love this. It's about time.
Lady?
It's interesting that we're talking about this story because we know historically Black people in the military, first of all, that's a whole conversation in itself, Black people in the military. I'm still waiting for my Civil War reparations payments from my ancestors. But as I digress, this is a whole conversation in itself. A part of why Fayetteville did this is because of where it is located and how much it has put out into the armed forces. Mm-hmm. There's a base not too far from the school where people have been getting their education and credits and everything like that. So just some things that I do kind of want to bring to your attention. HBCUs have produced more than 75% of Black officers for the U.S. Armed Forces through ROTC programs. And something about this, even specifically, one part of this scholarship at Fayetteville is to help students in ROTC in high school be able to maintain in college and be able to still afford it. Fayetteville, they exceed the average number of undergraduate enrollment, retention, and the number of GI Bill students among four-year HBCUs. So they are out here doing it. And so also, I had read that the school is actually looking to be the premier destination in North Carolina and the nation for education of military-connected students. And a part of how this came out was because what they started noticing was that students would randomly get transferred in the middle of the semester because they were active duty, and the school had to figure out, well, how can we help them maintain their credits? How can we help them keep their education? Because they would, be in North Carolina and then move out of state. And then the school would be like, oh, we got to charge out-of-state tuition. And then it's like, oh, well, now I can't afford out-of-state tuition. But I want to stay in school. Right. Or just, oh, well, now I can't afford this semester, so now I have to quit, I have to drop out. And they started seeing that also with their military enrolled students. And this is also to help mitigate that. And I also think that this is really kind of making up for that GI Bill that came out post World War II. As you guys know, that when they gave veterans all these benefits, that really didn't equal much to Black veterans because they put stuff in the laws. One that made it real easy to discriminate against Black veterans was the fact that the states enacted how the money was spent for that GI Bill. Not the federal government, who said, oh, this money's for everybody. The states did. So then it made it easy for them just like, oh, yeah, I'm not giving this to you. Oh, yeah, you're not qualified. There were also a number of Black veterans that couldn't solidify their positioning. They would get a dishonorable discharge or wouldn't give them their documents saying that they were honorably discharged, no proof. So, and also something to think about, veteran applications flooded universities for that GI Bill, and Black students often found themselves left out. Northern universities dragged their feet when it came to admitting Black students, and Southern colleges barred Black students entirely. And then the VA itself encouraged Black veterans to apply for vocational training instead of university admissions, and arbitrarily then would deny the educational benefits to some students. And these are our Black military servicemen. So shouts out to Fayetteville State for saying, hey, this has been an issue in our society for way too long, and we're gonna, do what we can do. We're seeing these trends. Let's address these trends, and I love it, and I'm here for it. This is what research is about. This is what research is about. You find a problem, you dig into it, and then you bring up solutions. So I'm excited to see what this looks like. I'm excited to see what this might look like in the future for Black people in the armed forces, or even for younger kids that do ROTC in high school and then move on to college. What does that look like for them? I'm excited. And shouts out and kudos to Fayetteville State University.
What does enrollment look like for Black people now? Enlistment in the Army, does it go up because of this benefit?
It might. It says here that Fayetteville State University also offers a variety of professional certifications that can lead to high-paying, impactful government jobs and careers through its Student Veteran Center. And last October, Fayette State University purchased a shopping center to expand the school's campus. Much like Morgan State, they acquired a shopping center worth $5 million, and they say that that's a revenue-generating and self-producing income for Fayetteville State University. Again, much like Morgan State purchased Northwood. So yeah, I love it. You see these HBCUs finding new, innovative ways because college enrollment is down across the board. Besides with HBCUs, it's actually increasing. Mm-hmm. So with that increase, now they're just not saying, "Oh wow, we got the numbers." Now they're giving credence and reason for even more people to come. I love it. I love it. Get yourself a HBCU.
Before we go to the comments, though, I just want to see how inflation comes full circle. Inflation comes full circle. Colleges inflated their prices for so long, right?
Right.
Now all of a sudden people aren't going to schools. Now they can't afford anything. Now you see, there are selling colleges in some towns. Like some college towns are being sold.
Yeah.
Like there's colleges being sold. We seen what happened as far as in Pennsylvania with the combining of schools to try to cut back money. All right, for so many years, these institutions made buku bucks.
Yeah.
All right, they made money, whether they're state schools or not. These schools have made money, so now they'll suffer the wrath, just like everybody else had to endure it. As people realize, hey, some of them don't need school for everything, for everything they want to do. Some people going to school are just trying to live out their parents' dreams.
Yeah.
So
very true. Very true. And then before we get to the comments, it says that FSU bought the shopping center to create a innovation and entrepreneurship hub. This space will support startup businesses and accommodate up to 40 individuals for training. This hub will replace the FSU bookstore, which will relocate to the campus library. So again, we're seeing this reinvestment in students. I love it. I can't say I love this enough because this is the reinvestment, and like Sarge said, inflation coming full circle.
Right, and I love it. And we're not going to go into depth about this, but seeing companies support Black people and helping us as a community be better for the next generation. A conversation that Black folks have is that we are, however many generations behind our white counterparts as far as accumulating generational wealth. And you see that when you look at, how much Black families have and how much, white families have as far as wealth. But what I think is super interesting is investing in the future of Black children and Black people. Even so much that I ended up finding out through some digging, looking for stuff for our own children, that Google offers training and certificates encoding for Black children that are exclusively homeschooled. So, and I'm sitting up here like, you trying to tell me when we did COVID last year, I could have been having my babies Google certified.
Well,
and it's like, but who knows this? And I only found this because I'm looking for, you know, how to giving my kids more Pan-African background. And so as I'm like, so Google's certifying Black homeschools for their kids to code and do tech, and I'm floored. Because who's talking about this? Who's alerting us?
Well, it sounds like TCP Tech School coming soon. TCP at Home Tech School. Your child too can know how to use your Ring security system. So folks, we are going to keep it moving to our next story. This is very, very, very disturbing. Lady L.
Yes. Hey, listen, before I take it to this next story, don't forget, call in at 9 o'clock so that you can win yourself a 2-pair of tickets or a family 4-pack of tickets to this weekend's Oral's Tradition show at the Ware Center with Charlotte Blake Alston. So this next story, again, and this actually, I don't know how I keep doing this, but this goes very well with our Black Formation affirmation for today. All right, so let me tell you about this story. All right, so the founder of the Black Lives Matter chapter in Memphis has been sentenced to prison for 6 years for allegedly registering to vote in Tennessee, prosecutor said. Pamela Moses, the 44-year-old activist, was ordered to spend 6 years and 1 day behind bars. She was not told when she signed up to vote back in 2019 that a previous felony conviction meant she had been permanently barred from voting. Court Judge W. Mark Ward did not see it that way, saying, "You tricked the probation department into giving you documents saying you were off probation." So here's the thing. Back in 2015, Moses pleaded guilty to tampering with evidence and forgery, both felonies, and to misdemeanor charges of perjury, stalking, theft under $500, and escape. She was placed on probation for 7 years and deemed ineligible to vote in Tennessee because of the tampering with evidence charge. So she was placed. So she was placed on probation. It says since Moses has maintained that she was under the impression that her voting rights had been restored when she went to vote in 2019. Currently, her attorney Bade Ananawu said that his client plans to appeal the sentencing. And so this, when we originally saw this story, it was just like no surprise there because we don't have the same privileges as our white peers. And if you don't know who Dred Scott is, you should probably look him up because Dred Scott case let us know our place in American society, and we still see it today with cases like Sister Pamela Moses, who has to do 10 years for voting. 10 years for voting. Right now, here's the thing. Did her probation officer let her know that you can never vote again? Did the probation department, when she went to go re-register to vote, the state didn't then they sent her a letter saying, yeah, you're good to vote. They didn't resend out a letter saying, oh, no, we messed up. Black people are the most held accountable people in the face of American history. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate and it's ridiculous that we continue to see how the judicial system and the law system are used to keep us in this caste system. That's just what it is. Black people are in the caste system of our own here. And fortunately, some of us make enough money to trickle the teeter, the tot of it. Because they ain't getting out of it. They just get the teeter. Over to the Dutch gentleman. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, we've seen cases of actual voter fraud. This is a fallacy within the system because there were systems, you know, probation officers and everything like that told her you can go on ahead and vote. Like, she got permissions from people to go on ahead and vote. What they're doing is they're using her as a example, because when there were situations of real fraud, like this one in where a man was charged with voter fraud for the November 2020 election. This is a man in Wisconsin, 40-year-old Anthony Van Egtern, and he's looking at 3 to 6 months behind bars with a $10,000 fine. You know, so there's that. If he's convicted, he's going to be, because they know that he voted twice. This lady did not vote twice. Again, she was told by systems that she reports to, that, can I vote? And they told her yes, but somehow it's her fault and not the fault of the mediocre caseworker. How about this? A Las Vegas businessman is facing charges for voting twice in a election.
Actual voter fraud.
Actual voter fraud. He's looking at 2 years probation. Let's keep it moving. Let's talk about the actual voter fraud that is happening in this country. Look, where people are voting twice.
Right now, why is it that? And here's the thing, though. Like, it's not like it's readily available. If I've been in jail for umpteen years, if I've been on probation for umpteen years, I'm confused about why these people who are monitoring me aren't sharing this information.
Right.
Why is it that if I'm being monitored, why is it that I gotta figure out what I'm supposed to be doing and you're monitoring me? Y'all put me in this situation. They might as well call probation failuration.
Like, y'all getting paid to do your job, to monitor. Why do I need to be up on myself when you're getting paid? But also, if the probation officer tells me, yes, you can go vote, I'm going to go do it. Why would I feel as though that they're going to tell me anything different? Go ahead, Sarge.
Around this time last year, January, around this time, January, we did this story. We did a story similar to this. Crystal Mason out of Texas. All right, she got 5 years in prison because she thought she could vote. She was told, hey, you could vote. She went to her polling center. You know what they did?
I think
they let her vote.
Her a note.
Yeah, they let her vote. And then you know what Texas did, right? Locked her up for 5 years. So she's doing every one of those 5 years. And this is what we're seeing happening again. Like, why? Because she's proactive?
Yep.
Because she's the leader for Black Lives Matter in Memphis, and we're going to show them.
Yep.
That's what it is. It's not so. She's not the example. Crystal Mason was the example. Everybody else was just kind of in between. Crystal Mason is the example. People are wrong. They need to hold the system accountable, like you're saying. They need to. Who gave you permission? All right. Well, you know what? You're good. What do they say? Ish rolls downhill. Right. Ish rolls downhill. And right now they got to her and they're letting it land on her and letting her take 6 years for this. It's wrong.
Charles Franklin Barnes was arrested January 4th for violating election laws, where he and a friend, Joanne Halstead and John Ritter, they all voted twice, all in Florida, all looking at probation as the maximum charge
for voting twice.
For voting twice. Not even voting when you were told you were allowed to, like not even that whole situation.
There's got to be some retribution, some persecution above her, right? It can't just all fall on her. The weight of this can't all fall on her.
Right.
Well, according to the judge, let me go back and make sure I have what the judge. Because, according to the judge, yeah, he said, you tricked the probation department into giving you documents saying you were off probation. She tricked the probation department, the institution that has been locking up, monitoring people for however cycles of life they have been operating in our country. But she tricked them. This lone black lady tricked the probation department for the state of Tennessee. That's what the judge says. Judge W. Mark Ward says, you tricked the probation department. And that's what it is. That's why she got 6 years, because she tricked the probation department. But also, he's using her previous convictions to treat her now. Because like one of her previous convictions that kept her from voting was what? Tampering with evidence and forgery. So who knows what the judge thinks of her? Not only that, but also she's a woman of lesser means. So does she have the money to fight every time somebody wants to sue her or whatever the case may be? Like black people, we can be kidnapped off the streets by the police for driving with a tail light out, driving without insurance. You fit the description. Are you getting loud with me? Like, just in an instance, you could be kidnapped. But as I digress, this is an unfortunate circumstance, and here we go seeing where the judges do whatever, make whatever decisions, and the only person that's impacted is the person that these decisions are being made for.
We have in another case. This comes from the New York Times. A registered Republican voted. Here goes another person voting twice. Now all these people that have voted twice. I've been trying to search for the Democrat that voted twice. Haven't been successful yet. But these are all Republicans that have actually voted twice and are looking at this guy, Mr. Hartel. He is looking at up to 4 months probation and $5,000 in fines to pay for voting twice. Actual, voter fraud, election fraud. Like, and when this whole, stop the steal and, election fraud and everything, and we have these voter suppression laws to stop election fraud and like the neighborhoods and the districts that y'all have these restrictive laws in, those aren't happening there. Those are happening in these places like a Nevada, a county in Nevada, like a county in Wisconsin, not in the hoods of Dallas,
or Atlanta,
in the projects of Houston. That's not where it's happening. But here's the thing: they know this. I really wish we act like I really wish we stop acting like the Republicans are some kind of dumb, don't know what they're doing group, filled with rednecks and hateful people, but actually a collective, well-oiled machine that is looking to give white supremacy, KKK, and nationalists the grip on this country that it once had back in the day, when America was great. So looking at those things. Sarge.
Oh man, and they run everything.
Yeah.
They get in there, and we can't look at. We have to realize we have to take positions that aren't paid sometimes. Sometimes you have to volunteer your time if you want to do something right.
Right.
Be willing to volunteer, teach the next generation, teach your kids how to volunteer and how it's okay to take charge to run things fair and smoothly.
Right.
Because everybody's not fair. Everybody's not unbiased and doesn't run things like that. So,
folks, it is about that time. Call in 717-992-5569. 717-992-5569. Call up and get your 4-pack or your 2-pack. Just call on up. Lady L, can you take us to our third story, please?
So the founder of the Black Lives Matter.
I'm sorry. Our fourth story. That was on me. That was on me. That was on me.
Again.
Right. We're about to do this again. No. It is actually on me. Sorry about that, America. So our fourth story. Again, folks, call up 717-992-5569.
717-992-5569 to win your stories and songs in the oral tradition by mastery storyteller Charlotte Blake Austin. Tickets come down to the Ware Center on this Saturday, where you will be a part of a family fun festival series with this wonderful storyteller Charlotte Blake Austin, discussing stories and songs in the oral tradition from noon to 1. There's some arts and crafts for the kids. It's great. It's exciting. And then also beginning at 1 begins the discussion, the stories and songs in the oral tradition. There are a limited number of participants that can come because we are still in a pandemic, but you can ensure you get your tickets for this Saturday by calling up 717-992-5569. Again, that's 717-992-5569. So our fourth story of today takes us to the cannabis industry of Pennsylvania. Hundreds of medical marijuana vape products not approved for inhalation recalled from PA dispensaries. So, folks, hundreds of vape cartridges. Oh, we got a call? All right, well, let's call them in and see who it is. All right. So, we got a caller. What is up, caller?
Hey, this is Mary Gaddis calling.
Hey, what up, Mary? How are you doing?
I'm great. I have a little interest in storytelling, as you know.
Oh, all right. Yes. Go on ahead.
That's my bird in the background screaming. But I'm excited to go to this show.
Yes.
Bring the tickets.
Yes. All right. Well, do you want the 4-pack or do you want the 2-pack?
I will take the 2-pack, and I'll give the 4-pack to somebody else.
Oh, well then, you know what?
I'll take the 4-pack. Is that good?
That is perfect. We will do that. That is yeah. I actually love that idea. So then Mary, I will contact you after the show, and then we can make those arrangements.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one. Thank you for calling up.
All right.
Okay, bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Well, folks, there it is. Tickets gone. Love it. The participation that we have with our viewing audience.
Who won the first pair? Took Nyla.
Yep. Nyla won the first pair. And then Mary and her crew.
When y'all show up, tell the TCP sent you.
Right. Please.
Right.
Please
let Barry
TCP
know
in the morning,
right.
Sevens.
that we sent you.
Right. Did Ray ever get his book?
No.
I
said, you know what? I have it with shea butter.
He won a bunch of things.
Sorry, Ray.
Thanks for viewing
Ray,
and
keep calling in.
But can you get your stuff right?
Tell you what, Ray. This shea butter, I don't know how long it's gonna last.
So here's the thing that does happen. Think about back in the days when we were kids. When you listened to the radio station, you had to go yourself to the radio station and physically pick up whatever it was that you want.
And if you didn't, the radio station people kept it.
Right.
I was one of those people.
Right.
I would hope.
And so that's what you need to be mindful of. So when we are giving away these tickets and we like, hey guys, you need to call in. Well, if y'all don't win, we going to just give them to our people.
Right.
We don't want to do that.
Right.
So, we want to bond with you guys. We want to get you out into the community and everything like that. So make sure that you're calling in and you're participating. Like, I'm excited. I was sitting up here thinking, like, if nobody calls in, I'm taking those tickets in my insurance.
All right, so our fourth story, again, Pennsylvania recalls hundreds of medical marijuana vape products. And some say with little explanation. So, after sending 2 cryptic emails about a statewide review of vaporized cannabis products, on February 4th, the Department of Health in Pennsylvania emailed patients a 3rd time announcing it was recalling some vaporized cannabis products it had previously approved. The email included a link to a list of more than 650 products and added ingredients on the state medical marijuana website. We will put that link in the comment section for you folks. This comes from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration
After finishing this review, the department has determined that certain vaporized medical marijuana products containing some added ingredients have not been approved for inhalation by the FDA. It's unclear why the health department would rely on approval from the Federal Food and Drug Administration for cannabis products, despite more than 24 states legalizing marijuana for medical or recreational use. The drug remains illegal at the federal level in the United States. What the state is trying to do here is not a thing, says Meredith Buttender, executive director of the Pennsylvania Cannabis Coalition, which represents growers and dispensary owners. The FDA does not approve these types of additives for vaporization. And it's not the role of the FDA, Buttner says, noting the agency doesn't seek out things to be approved. The state is trying to apply a standard that does not exist. The email instructs patients to consult with the medical professional at the dispensary to help identify which alternative products may be appropriate for you. The February 4th update is just the latest confusing email from the state to patients of its medical marijuana program to date. The health department has not replied to requests for comments about what prompted the review of vaporized cannabis products in the first place, and provides no information about what patients should do if they have products on the recall. Willing to accept product returns from patients, but people should check with their local dispensary if they have further questions. So folks, Buttner noted that even during an outbreak of a lung illness that was linked to vaping several years ago, the products identified were on the illegal cannabis market. Buttner said she's concerned that the state's decision may push people to seek out illegal marijuana products if they can't buy them legally at their dispensaries. Because yes, once somebody got their medical marijuana card, that means that they stopped all, as some say, street weed. They got their card now, so they stopped searching for street weed, right? People, let's not be naive here. I have no real analyzation here, just some concerns, because this cause of alarm, it's not so much a health thing that I'm worried about. It's the direction of which legislation will go for medicinal marijuana, because we were trending towards being of the Colorados and being of the Californias and everything, when recreationally it was going to be legal. With this right here, I feel as though that this is going to cause some backtracking. And it's really not of a reason. It's not like they discovered something that's going to be detrimental or anything like that. Like they're creating a problem, and that's what it is. Oh, these things aren't approved by the FDA. Well, they're not approved by the FDA because the FDA ain't looking for them. And that's the thing. If the FDA ain't looking for them, of course they're not going to be approved. We have a caller. Caller, you are listening to TCP in the morning. Good morning.
Good morning. It's Gary Ralph calling. How you doing?
Gary, what is going on with you? How you feeling?
What up, Gear Beer?
I'm feeling really good. The story you're reading about the cannabis. Before getting into the CBD industry, I did about 11 months of research on this. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is I talked to people who actually take some of these local products. Mm-hmm. And I found that there's a lot of chemicals, a lot of preservatives or whatever in it, or chemicals to preserve preservatives in these products. And so, to me, it was important that my product be certified organic. Now, why that is important. I work with people who are cancer survivors, cancer patients, and I found that some of these people were having side effects like really bad migraine headaches and all that. I'm not going to get into a lot of the details. So that's why, to me, it was important to go with a certified United States Agricultural Department of Agriculture certified product. And somebody asked me, said, how come we don't have USDA organic certified farms here? Well, it's because, you're using the farms that had a really bad lead runoff, and also if you have your family's cemetery on your farm lot, you're not going to pass the certifications. So also, if you've read lately, we've had the ATF, the USDA here in Lancaster inspecting all of these farms. One in particular selling bad meats, and we just can't do that for the public. It's really, really bad. They've gone rough. They really want to do what they want to do instead of comply. If you're going to be selling me some product, whatever, to me, that USDA seal and a few other things I feel are very, very important. It's kind of like the constitution of food. It's going to certify that the food is actually good for me and okay for me to eat, you know. But the cannabis thing, so you guys know, I'm not into smoking weed. I have found that CBD for me, the certified organic product for me, helps my body to recover faster. In a way, I can understand why the NBA guys smoke a lot of weed.
Oh, welcome to the dark side, Gary.
To recover so much faster.
Right.
So there's so many really, really great benefits, and I'm glad that that the U.S. government is stepping in to protect us, the consumers, So.
All right.
Thanks for the call, Gary.
All while still robbing them blind.
Talk to you soon.
Taking money from the trucks.
Bye-bye.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh man. All right. So folks, Dr. Kayla Tegler, please, if you're listening, call up and give us some more insight on that. Gary, thank you for calling up with those nuggets of information. Sarge, you have some other details.
I do. Listen, Colorado made $423 million in marijuana tax sales last year, and the U.S. combined. If we look at the U.S. combined, they have made more than $3 billion in tax revenue over the last year. All right, Montana made they topped 1.5 million in sales the first weekend of recreational weed sales. First weekend. Wow. So, for those of you thinking that weed's just bad, weed won't help. Weed could be the problem to getting our kids better schools, paying our teachers better.
The economy is suffering because we're resistant to it.
Yep.
Right. So we have a caller. Caller, you are on the air. This is TCP in the morning.
Hi, this is Kayla.
Hey, what is going on? Thanks for calling up.
So weed doctor.
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about the recall. So one thing, just if there's anybody local that did purchase one of the products on the list from Vital Options, just bring it back with your original packaging. You don't really need the receipt. We can print that out for you. So really just need the original packaging, and we'll do all the exchanging and stuff for you. But besides that, just the recall list in general. So basically the point of it is because there were a lot of brands that were adding in a lot of extra stuff that wasn't derived from cannabis. So even in cannabis, there's cannabinoids, there's terpenes, there's flavonoids, there's also lipids and chlorophyll and some plant matter. So these terpenes are what make each strain smell different, taste different, provides that aromatherapy effect. And so what these companies were doing is they were actually adding in botanical terpenes, meaning they were terpenes that, because terpenes are found in all plants and vegetables and fruit, they were terpenes that were actually being derived from a non-cannabis plant, and then they were adding that into this cannabis product. So sometimes these terpenes can be the same terpenes that you would find in cannabis already, so in that sense it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But then some of these companies are actually adding in terpenes that you wouldn't even really find that high percentages of in cannabis, and that's why they were able to make all these weird flavors that weren't really cannabis flavors.
Faking
so
people
that's
out.
The main purpose of this is just to take it back to being a pure cannabis product instead of this mixture of stuff, because it to a point it's almost kind of like the whole nicotine vaping, where they're just making these flavors and such. So I am definitely happy about the recall. It's definitely kind of a mess in the dispensary end, but I think think it's definitely healthier for patients.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thank you for that nugget of knowledge. We can jump off our commentary from there. Thanks again.
I love having our own weed doctor.
Have a good one.
Yes, we have our own weed doctor, yo. Well, yeah, you know, we do have a cannabis doctor you want to talk to. They just called in and told us why.
Right. So and I love that. So then now this isn't a conversation that comes from ignorance or speculation. It comes from knowledge and know-how. Go ahead, Sark.
That's right. Look. We need healthy cannabis, you know.
Yes.
Otherwise, we'll have a K2 pandemic again, or people smoking on spice. Remember when spice came out? Like, it's legal weed. Then you smoked it. And
that's what I'm thinking of. The bath sauce.
Bath sauce, like all these different things. You know, we need to keep it real. All right. So cannabis is good for you when it's true cannabis.
Right.
All right. Don't let the people get in there and try and make it their own thing. All right.
Lady L.
All right, so I just want to talk about just address again with this wealth gap and access to opportunities and the disproportionate impact of Black people not having access to. Even in states like Missouri, there are no minority Black owned or majority Black owners dispensaries in the entire state. They actually had a group there called, let me get the name. It was like Marijuana Dispensaries for Black People. And this woman, actually, who was leading the group, actually put about $80,000. She invested $80,000 of her own money to get a medical marijuana dispensary in the state. And she still doesn't know why she wasn't approved. She stopped doing the group. She's canceled out her group. And she's moving her business to Oklahoma.
Wow.
She got her dispensary. She'll be opening up her dispensary in a couple of weeks in Oklahoma because she fought for years in Missouri for Black people to get licensure for cannabis, and it just didn't happen. So before legalization, anyone with some marijuana seeds, pots, lights, and a fan could grow pot plants indoors for as little as $100 and start selling. However, with a professional operation starting around $70,000. Now, if you want to sell pot legally, you need to get a license, which can cost up to $120,000, depending on the size of your business. Throw in legal fees, insurance, space rental, marketing, and taxes. Your costs could go up into the millions. And also, just a nice little fun fact, the marijuana market is expected to reach $43 billion by 2025. That's 3 years from now. A $43 billion a year industry by 2025. And we hardly have any Black we have no Black farmers. Hardly, well, I think it's less than 2% Black dispensary owners. And this is almost a $43 billion industry. Again, when we talk about creating opportunity and building generational wealth, this is what we're talking about. Here's an industry that's booming, that's thriving, and we are purposely being kept out of it. It's unfortunate, and it keeps us in that caste system that I was speaking of earlier, gentlemen.
And there's also an article in the Atlanta Black Star that really hammers at home about the booming cannabis industry and how it's leaving out Black Americans. And it says that more than 2 decades after the states began legalizing cannabis, researchers and advocates say they're noticing that Black people have been largely shut out from making money in the industry. The legalized marijuana market is expected to reach $43 billion, like Lady L said, by 2025. And there's a new frontier data that researchers estimate 5.4 million Americans will be registered marijuana patients, a 2.4 increase from 2021. So folks, California was the first to legalize medical marijuana in '96, with other states following. To date, there are 37 states that have legalized medicinal marijuana, and 18 have have approved it for recreational use. So industry observers say there is a growing disparity between black and white Americans entering the business. About 80% of cannabis business owners and founders were white. And this is from a 2017 Marijuana Business Daily survey found. About 4% of dispensary owners, cannabis owners, 4% in the industry are black.
Oh, man, that's 1% less than doctors.
Right.
That's right on par with everything else, isn't it?
Crazy. And then you have to think like the black people that are a part of it,
already.
Right, like this isn't your neighbors. This isn't Lady L getting with on Sarge and you guys creating something. Like no. This is Method Man having something. Steve Urkel,
Wiz Khalifa.
Wiz Khalifa.
Snoop
Exactly.
Dogg.
Exactly. So yes, it's great. It's great that those black people, but it's like they're in another economic stratosphere. Whereas somebody that is local, somebody that is regional, I was talking to her, and this local regional person was trying to get a small dispensary set up in PA, and just to start, it was $100K. Outside of everything else, that's just the start. If you ain't bringing $100K to the door, then don't even worry about it. You're going to spend many more than that. But if you're not bringing $100K to the door, don't even start. Dr. Kayla Taylor says, speaking on black-owned disparities, Marion, Maine, black woman-owned dispensary in Maryland near D.C. will be hosting Gary Chambers this Friday for a political fundraiser. She says, DM her for info. We definitely will.
Gary also goes on to say, my goal is to make $1.3 million in 3 years. Laugh at that.
I'm not laughing. I'm gonna ask for $1 at the end of that third year.
No, I'm gonna tell you to come advertise with us, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm trying to get on with you. You need security? Top flight
of the world, Craig.
All right, so we're gonna jump right into our next story. All right, our next story, we're gonna be talking about Goodwill workers accused of saving expensive items for themselves. All right, so a new viral video on TikTok is painting Goodwill workers in a bad light, as one user accuses the workers in the thrift store of separating expensive donated items for other goods and holding them for themselves. The video shows one employee at an undisclosed Goodwill location holding 4 off-white brand sneakers and taking them to the back for unspecified reasons. The Goodwill worker really took 4 pairs of off-white sneakers out of a bin and took them to the back, the user wrote in the text appearing in the video. Spectators who came across the video left their judgment. Only people that benefit from that store are the workers, one user wrote. They take all the good stuff and leave the garbage for the customers. That's a shame. I donate to help poor customers, another user said. It makes me not want to donate. According to Goodwill's site, the company is a nonprofit social enterprise that provides work opportunities, skill developments, and blah, 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 yakety schmackety. The site also mentions its employees and disadvantaged people who are in training are offered vouchers or discounts at Goodwill retail stores. Goodwill has not publicly commented on the incident as of yet, and I think if you have an issue with the Goodwill workers taking the stuff that you donated, you are the problem.
Trash.
Like, come on, are you kidding me? Like, I'm curious, how much do you think these Goodwill workers are making an hour?
They're working at Goodwill.
Right.
This is an opportunity.
There's
you're
no
donating
raises.
the stuff.
There's no raises. Mind you, Goodwill has no raises. There's no raises up at all. You can work from open floor sales. That's about it, lateral positions. But no raises. So you have these employees. Yeah, I would take stuff too. I would put stuff in the back. You know what? I have to work here. Right. I have to clean up all this stuff. Right. Honestly,
I can't look nicer than you and work here?
Yeah, like if it's all garbage, right?
It's all being donated. Why do you care who it goes to?
You guys are throwing it out.
Why does somebody have to pay for it?
And that's the thing. It's a donation. Like once it leaves your hand and it's in the hand of the next person to do what they will with it, like it's no longer your responsibility. So it should not matter what happens. Like you wanted it out of your house.
It's out of your house.
Right.
It shouldn't matter
where it goes from there.
Right. If you are concerned with it going to a specific person or anything like that, then donate it to
that person.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I know bougie black folks that are exactly like that. Like, I know black girls that'll be pregnant, have the baby, and then have another girl in mind of who she wants to give her baby clothes to.
Yeah.
Because, I done pay good money for these baby clothes. I don't want them going to just any old body. They're not going to take care of it, blah, blah, blah. And they strategically decide who to give their baby clothes to. So I would think that it would be very similar to that. If you don't want your baby stuff or your items just ending up wherever with whoever, then you can make that conscious decision and give it to whoever you choose to give it to. And that's fair. But what you're not going to do is come up here judging people who they work there. I bet you that's probably one of the perks. Oh, when good donations come in, I get first dibs. And that, like, we are literally having a discussion about poverty Olympics right now.
Yo, yes. And those jobs.
They didn't pay $2 for my shoes.
And that's a thankless job.
You don't get that $2.
Like especially for like a place like a community aid. Like you roll up to community aid. The most you gotta do is take the stuff out of your house. You roll up to community aid, you can have it hanging out your back door, hanging out your trunk, hanging out your truck bed, or whatever. Community aid, they come out, rain, sleet, hail, snow. Come out, pick up whatever stuff you got, and then take it to the back. It could
wash it.
Right. It could be falling apart, but because you donated it, they have to honor like those people that have to come out. Like, think about this past weekend, how cold it was outside. There were people at community aid at the Goodwill taking heavy dressers and what have you, taking that
old
inside.
mattress with bed bugs.
Right. Like, it's a thankless job. It is a thankless job. So if they skim a little bit off the top, if they get that nice dresser, oh my God.
Yes.
America, you're going to be all right. You're going to be all
Promise
right.
you.
If they get that, that fresh ass polo shirt, like, okay, y'all will be just fine. I'm more upset that the TikToker snitched.
Yeah, like, who are you? What?
Like, yo, yes.
Nah, he wanted a pair of the Jones. He was burnt.
He was mad.
He was mad because he didn't leave in one pair. I ain't gonna hold you. I got mad at Keith one time when he took these sweet potatoes. Like, I was behind him. There's a decent amount of sweet potatoes.
No, there wasn't.
So I'm like, yo, there's at least enough for two.
Lady
All right. So he proceeds to Goodwill worker me. And so after he takes all the spoonfuls. So I'm like, cool, at least I'll scrape the pole. I'll scrape the pan. You know what he starts doing? Scraping the pan. I felt like the guy I was getting Goodwill work. Oh, you're taking 2 pair. Oh, you're gonna take all 4 pairs? Can you leave me one?
Should have got TikTok.
Like I asked him he let me scrape the pan off though, but he could have left the 1 pair of them shoes is why. And we wouldn't even be reporting on this right now.
I'm sorry. Next time,
Yo.
I will wait.
No, I'm getting sweet potatoes first.
I literally ordered my food one week.
Uh-huh.
And Lady L was behind me. I forgot my card upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Went upstairs. Lady L took my whole order.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was a terrible, terrible circumstance. I'm like, she's like, you left. I'm like, but I already ordered my food. I had to pay for it.
Stone cold.
Yeah, we're going to call this. It's the new thing. We're calling it getting Goodwill worker.
Yeah. I tell you what.
You Goodwill workered me?
I don't want to go eat at the Lupton house. I don't want to go eat at the Lupton house.
Our house.
I get crazy in there.
In our house when it comes to food, and it's crazy because everybody in our house is slim. But there are rules in our house when it comes to food, and we all be everybody yelling at each other.
I will tell you this: our house food rules originated with Kevin Lupton. So they were just.
I can imagine how competitive it is. Oh my gosh, yo. Oh no! Bring your own food to the Lupton house.
Oh man, oh man, folks, we're going to
keep it moving. To our next story, we're gonna take it to the city of brotherly love. But before we do that, Lady L, this Friday marks the unfortunate end of the Health Equity Festival. Can you tell the folks about what is happening this Friday?
Oh my goodness, this Friday is the last Friday for the Health Equity Music Festival.
Yes.
So if you have not been, come on down, get yourself a plate and enjoy the vibe. Music will be provided by local Sir Dominique Jordan. Not only that, we will be issuing flute. Well, I won't be issuing, but our lovely black lady doctors, the women over at Patients Are Waiting, will be issuing flu shots, booster shots, and your first COVID vaccination shot. Or if you've already been there and you need your second dose, this week is the week for that. So come on down to the Crispus Attucks Community Center, 6 to 9 p.m. For week 6, the last week, week 6 of the Health Equity Now Music Festival.
Yes, cannot wait for that. It was a great 6 weeks. Folks, if you did not get your booster yet, come on down this Friday, get it, and enjoy some music
booster
and some food, man. Do something this Black History Month that you remember for the rest of your life. Lady Al.
Oh, man. I need to actually get those vaccination cards over to the school. How about that? Talking about the rest of your life. All right, so this story comes out of my hometown. The School District of Philadelphia has updated its masking requirements for students and staff, and that'll actually be taking effect today. Cloth mask alone will no longer be acceptable. Students and staff who choose to wear a cloth mask should wear, and it'll be expected for them to wear a 3-ply disposable mask underneath, which the district currently provides. Double masking is allowed with cloth masks, so as long as a 3-ply disposable mask. Officials say the 3-ply disposable mask is more effective in preventing the spread of COVID-19. The school district says surgical masks, KN95 and N95 face coverings are preferred for those looking to wear a single mask. Starting today, all district schools and offices will be provided with a supply of adult KN95 masks to distribute to staff who may want them. Philadelphia Health Commissioner Dr. Cheryl Buttigieg said the city is probably several months away from dropping its current mask rules as the virus continues to circulate. However, as far as COVID rates, the city last week were at about 1,000 new infections a week, and they are down to a little over 500 new infections this week. So, guys, yes, Philadelphia schools are in session in person, so please make sure that your baby is either double masked up or has a KN or N95 mask to wear to school to keep them safe. Gentlemen, your thoughts on this?
We all know the K90 masks are needed. They're giving them out. They put it out a while ago. I mean, they've been putting it out. They've been talking about it.
They say cloth masks don't work.
Yeah, cloth mask. Like
this is a natural progression.
Yeah, it's just a vibe. Just get the K95 masks there. They're getting them all out. You know, if they're going to give them out to the schools, like have them on the buses. You know, when the students come to the buses, have them on their bus. Hey, here goes your mask for the day. You know what I mean? Like, we have to work the system like that, or have them when they walk into the schools, or like around the schools, have people, whether it's hall monitor, you know what I mean? Hall monitors or safety patrols, handing out these masks. So that way everybody has it, and we're not depending on their parents or people to try and find masks, and you don't know where they're at. You know, so that's where I'm at with that.
I think that we should begin to reimagine large gatherings for the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this may be a little dramatic on my end, but I really think like schooling should be reimagined for the next 2 years. Like, if we're not going to shut down and everything, in a lot of instances we can't because parents have to go to work and everything like that. I understand. So then there should be other avenues, other options. Prime example. I remember when McCaskey East back in the day was being built, and they said that it'll be up by the school year. and it wasn't up by the beginning of the school year. So then what happened? They had these pockets of kids all across the city in different locations. They had them in the borough building. They had them in other, had them in a hotel, trailers, and everything like that. They utilized the resources of the city to spread the kids out so that they could get their education. Now, if I'm not mistaken, isn't there a bunch of like defunct schools right now in Philadelphia?
Yep.
You know, that aren't being used or anything like that. So then couldn't the Philadelphia School Board, you know,
they would have to address some of the like asbestos and structural issues with some of those buildings. Some of those school buildings are technically historical landmarks. They could be categorized because they're over 100 years old.
Well, they should be, what is it? Revitalized.
Yeah,
right.
You know,
But then the issue is that the school district doesn't have enough money to revitalize the building.
That's the historic job. That's not the school district's job. Like that sugar tax, that big money that's sitting there.
Well, over 50% of it is sitting in a non-discretionary fund.
Well, and like Devon says, a lot of empty buildings. There's a lot of empty buildings. I mean, you got more than 5 colleges / universities in the city. Hotels. You know, there's the
birthplace of Xfinity.
Like there's options. There are ways. It's not like they're like, oh, well, there's nothing that we can do. There are ways to figure this out. There are favors that can be called in. Hey, landlord person over here.
Relationships that can be built.
Exactly.
Right, because there definitely is even a whole hospital that's sitting there unmanned.
So like I'm just thinking like, okay, instead of reimagining,
stop packing these kids in these schools.
Exactly.
Right, give them their masks and spread them out across the town. Right.
You have the resources, use them. Now that right there is going to take a little bit more brain power, but it'll set a situation up for the next 2-3 years instead of just hoping that this is going to end and then we can get back to normal life.
Look, oh man, it's not going to go back to normal life. Look, what I say, the higher up you get, the less common sense becomes common. You know, people don't think about these things like, oh, well, we can't do that. We can't do that. Okay, well, give me a list of things we can do.
Yeah.
You know what we can do? We can still keep all these kids' stuff together
like
and not pay these teachers as much money and still watch them struggle and try and just grab in the bucket, grabbing the barrels.
Right.
Let's see them. And that's all they're doing, you know.
Whatever. Gary says masks work some. If you talk to an ear, nose, and throat doctor, they will tell you that you need to walk around in an HVAC suit. And to that point, maybe it would be advantageous of us not to, pack these kids in, regardless of masks and everything like that, because you have to think at any given time of the day, especially during right now, in a school, in a germ factory, somebody's sick.
Definitely.
Somebody sick, transmitting something, like you're more likely, it's a joke, but it's not a joke, you're more likely to cross a cloud of COVID in a school than you are anywhere else. You might cross 5 clouds of COVID. So let's begin to reimagine things. We are moving right along. Lady L, this is your hometown. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a good idea. They're doing the best that they can do.
Yeah.
I'm just glad to hear that the kids are in school.
Yeah.
Like, that's a whole nother thing in itself when I'm talking to my relatives and hearing how, they're virtual. And I'm sitting up here like, oh, no, my kid's been in school. Like, they've been in school this whole time. And that even then becomes a debate, right? Because people are looking at me like, oh, you send your kids to school? You not sending your kids to school? Like, I went to school in a blizzard. I went to school in a hurricane. Went to school with the flu. Chicken pox. Totally going to school with COVID too. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of just where I'm at. Get them kids in school. For one, schools, they provide meals. There are kids who go to school strictly to eat, who may not get that. There are kids who don't have Yes, we are in the dead of winter, and there is somebody's house who does not have the gas on. So yes, they need to be in school.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Like, outside of schools being a educational institution, and I say it like that because the educational part is to be debated, it's debatable, but they provide a place outside of home for kids to go.
Yeah.
It provides a social environment for the kids to learn and to build different skills, if nothing else. And so while they're there, let's try to make them as safe as possible. So yes, please, yes, you know, Alizé needs to wear 2 masks.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
I hate the fact that she said Alizé. Why can't it just be Albert? You know, Alan, Elise.
Because ain't nobody
Alizé.
naming their baby Alan in Philly.
Alizé.
Listen, my Philly people gonna be in the comments, be like, who
What was her
baby
name?
Alan?
What was her name? From Steve Harvey. Such and such Alizé Jenkins.
Oh yeah,
Lavita Alizé Jenkins.
Sorry.
Oh man. Folks, want to let you know that you are listening and watching and tuning into TCP in the Morning, brought to you by Penny.com. That is PENNIE.com. Penny.com, Pennsylvania's #1 healthcare marketplace. Head on over to Penny.com to see how much you can save for medical, dental, or vision. 9 out of 10 Pennsylvanians qualify for some kind of financial assistance with Penny.com. Again, that is PENNIE.com. Penny.com. Go on ahead, check it out. So our 7th story for today, folks, we are moving and grooving and got 2 more stories left. Our 7th story today is help available for Lancaster County residents having trouble affording rent and utilities. Last week, we talked about the programs that are there for homeowners. Now that there have been programs set for renters, but there's this misinformation going around that, the money has run out. The money has run out. Folks, that is not true. There is still several $1 million left. This says, the article from WGAL says that we're 9 months into the rental relief program here in the county, and things are not slowing down at all. This is from the executive director, Justin Edby. The authority, which is the Lancaster County Housing Authority, has been busier than ever. The authority is already helping about 7,000 households with emergency rental assistance, and anyone who experienced financial hardship due to the pandemic can still apply. There's still funding available, folks, and the team continues to get hundreds of applications each week. Ebby says, I think in general, there's just a huge need for housing-related services, and the market today is just driving up costs. The COVID-19 Emergency Rental and Assistance Program is so busy right now that there are days where there are more than a dozen people waiting in their lobby. In order to meet the need, the Housing Authority has doubled its staff. It is also expanding its footprint. The expansion will also offer more visibility with offices that look right onto Penn Square in Lancaster. The goal is to make sure anyone who needs help can get it easily and accessibly. They say that we want them to remain in their homes. So, folks, we are going to put the COVID-19 Emergency Rental and Utility Assistance website in the comment section so that you can get the help that you need. Don't be too prideful, folks. This is one of the things that have helped and kept many families in their homes. They have been saying ever since the beginning for the last 6 months. Do not be prideful. Come and get these services. These services are available because when they gone, they gone. Mm-hmm. And you can't pay your bills with, I should have done that. We could have done that. It would have been a good idea to do that. Now's the time. Jump in and try it out.
Yeah, utilities, gas, PP&L, get that stuff done.
Yes.
Why not? Why not? All right.
Right.
tax season is here. Tax season's coming.
Right.
So instead of using that lump sum of money that you're going to get back to pay back on bills and stuff, when you have the assistance here, why not? All right.
And that's another thing. They take care of your back rent as well. So let's say that you are 2 months behind on your rent. You sign up for this program, they're going to take care of that 2 months behind, that 2 months current, and that 2 months ahead. So, folks, again, it's one of those things. Don't keep this to yourself. We put the website in the comments section. Make sure you share with a friend. Let a friend know. Let a family member know. Spread the word. Again, there are millions of dollars left. And what's going to happen, or what I fear is going to happen, is that if these funds aren't utilized, then they're just going to be transferred over into the prison, or the prison complex.
Right.
They're trying to build a new prison here in Lancaster County. Let's not give them the funds to do so. Go on ahead and get your rental assistance. Let's take it to Lady L.
I was actually nodding my head thinking like, go on ahead and apply. Listen, so this emergency rental and utility assistance, so it's just not even about your rent, but in addition to your rent, we're talking about your electric, your gas, your water. Some of these homes out here, y'all running on oil heat. Some of your houses are running on oil heat. Please go stop by, follow the link that we dropped down in the comment section so that you can get the resources that you need. You know, you don't always need to rob Peter to pay Paul and then tell Johnny to keep it a secret, right? That's what we learned. It's not a first come, first serve program. The applications are prioritized by arrears and eviction notices. So that is something to be mindful of because there are some people who are just in more dire need than others. So if you feel like it's too late for you, it's not too late for you.
Right.
Just go on ahead, click the link down in the comment section and fill out what you need to fill out. Because if you're watching this on your phone, that means you have enough data to find out how you can get free rental and utility assistance.
Dig it.
So go on ahead and do it.
Go on ahead and do it. Sarge.
All right, we're going to close out. We're going to go to our last story for the day. So our last story comes from the University of Michigan. All right, so 2 University of Michigan students created a solution to a problem plaguing many black and brown college students attending predominantly white colleges and universities.
I love this story.
By providing hair care and beauty products made for texture hair and darker skin tones readily available on campus. Mia Wilson, 22, and her business partner, Rico Ozuna Harrison, 22, are co-founders of Innovending. Wilson is a recent graduate of the University of Michigan, while Ozuna Harrison is a year away from graduation. The university in Ann Arbor, Michigan, about 40 miles west of Detroit, was roughly 6% Hispanic or Latino, 5% black as of 2019 data. Wilson and Ozuna Harrison says it took them a couple of years to bring their vending machine to reality. But the racial reckoning of 2020 and the pandemic lockdowns helped fuel their idea. During COVID, when we were all quarantined in our homes and couldn't do anything and the only stores that were open were essential stores, gas stations, grocery stores, pharmacies, and the beauty supplies were not open, Wilson said. The two took advantage of the university's Optimize Grant, a program that helps students tap into their entrepreneurial spirit by offering mentorship on projects, including starting a business. You talk to different people and they critique your work, and then you pitch again and again, and you pitch to different groups and different people, and it's a ton of work. But the people who stay along and continue to develop their idea get the money in the end, Ozuna Harris said. Wilson and Ozuna Harris received a $10,000 grant from Optimize, and they used the money to address the hair care needs to black and brown students on campus. They purchased the vending machine, hair and beauty products with the money last fall, and garnered support from the school to house the machine in one of the most popular spots on campus, the Michigan Union Building. So they purchased the products from the wholesalers that sell the best. They have bonnets, do-rags, hair glue, eyelashes, shea butter, wave grease, castor oil. They have wig caps, stocking caps. They said with plans to purchase more products, including hair extensions, wigs, edge control gel, and more. Ozuna Harrison said they have not tallied a total to see how much money they earned in sales just yet, But they believe in just under a month, they've already made up a fourth of the startup cost due to the high traffic the machine receives. While maintaining their innovating business, Wilson plans to continue her studies in business and law school, while Zuna Harrison plans to enter medical school once finished at the University of Michigan. They also intend to seek out more business grants so they can buy more vending machines and expand their business. This is huge, like, to see them get this thing started while they're still pursuing their other goals.
Right.
They're not like, you know what, I'm quitting school.
Right.
This is going to be it for the rest of my life.
Right.
They're like, no, while I'm here, I'm still going to try and get more grants and keep going.
Right.
I want to pursue my dream, but why not have this business go at the same time as I pursue my dream? So now you're no longer a broke college kid.
Right.
You put these vending machines in all these predominantly white campuses.
Right.
Out of Mansfield, out of Bloomsburg, where people are away from everybody.
Sarge, don't tell them our plan. That's our plan.
I'm telling you, look, listen, and you guys keep hearing that 5%. You guys keep hearing that 5%, 5%, 4%. That's pretty much us in the society of things. 5%, good enough.
I think about back in the day when I had that big afro in Shippensburg and everything, and I would drive home. I would be driven home once a month to get all of my hair care products for my hair. Because the closest situation to Shippensburg was Harrisburg. Like, even though Chambersburg had a pretty solid black and brown population, our hair care products weren't accessible until my second senior year, when the Carlisle Walmart had an ethnic section,
It was locked up.
Of course it was. So like I'm all for this. I'm looking to go into business with the TCP in the morning team to set up these kind of vending machines at Millersville, Shippensburg,
Stevens,
all the
Clarion. Yes, because yo,
especially Stevens.
Yes, there was this girl. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Ashley Michaels. Like, she would go to Philly at least 4 or 5 times a month, and people would pay her to come back with hair care products. And from her braiding hair to her making those runs,
it's a racket.
Yo, she always had money.
That's probably her business model. Probably her business now to this day.
Like, so that's man, I love it. Shout out to those students. This is premier entrepreneurialism. See a need, fill a need.
Go ahead, Lady L. Do you have anything to add to it?
Oh, listen, I would have loved something like this in college. Like, I even thought about this the other day when we were at the outlets. There was a vending machine that had, like, eyelashes in it. And I was like, I thought it was a cool idea. I didn't think it belonged at the outlets because I thought the outlets was a bad place for it. But the idea, that was phenomenal. And yes, there's Walmart, and even with that ethnic hair care section, it still isn't the right products that I want to use for my hair. It still isn't. Like, even for me, there are certain products, staple products, that I have been using for years. Like, Not Today. I've been using Not Today since before my 10-year-old was born, and I still use it today. And over the years, it's gone from $15 to now it's $20 for same size bottle. So I appreciate that because you can't find these products everywhere. Not Today, it's not at Walmart. I literally can only get it from a Rite Aid around here or have to physically go to a hair store. So I think it's a phenomenal idea to have a vending machine on campus, just like when these schools started having vending machines with Plan B and condoms in it. You have students of color that have diverse needs for their bodies, for their hair. All you're saying to those students is, hey, I see you.
For their lifestyle, right?
Hey, I've had that experience before, and they're addressing it. Shouts out to them for innovation, because that's what it's about.
Right, Sarge.
I do want to say, guys, it took more than Obama. It took more than Obama to say, hey, America's changed. We did it. We did it. Yeah, change is here. Guys, it took till 2020 for us as black people to all really come together. become emboldened, like to us to come together as a society, not just black people, but as Americans came together as a society to march. You know what I mean? Not everybody in America, not that 30%, but the majority. Okay, I will continue to say the majority of Americans want what's right. They know what's right. All right, and you know what? Let's get this out there across the states. I'm sure we're going to have trouble getting it in Florida, and Texas, of course, and even Arizona and Maine. But, everywhere else, let's make it happen, you guys.
Absolutely. All right. It is up on that hour. Lady L.
Hey guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. As we continue, I told you I had a Black formation affirmation for you today. And again, this band book that we're covering this week is 39 Lessons for Black Boys and Girls. Number 19, you don't have the same privilege as your white friends. They're much less likely to be profiled by police, followed in a store, held accountable for others in their community, marginalized, or judged according to the color of their skin. Be vigilant. Happy Black History Month. Gentlemen.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody, my baby boys, my baby dolls, my princes and princesses, my kings and queens, and everything in between. To he, to she, to they, to them, to we, baby. And even to those who go non-binary, to y'all as well. I'm going to leave y'all with words from the great Frederick Douglass. Liberty is meaningless where the right to utter one's thoughts and opinions have ceased to exist. That of all rights is the dread of tyrants. It is the right which they first of all strike down. And also, we have to do with the past only as we can make it useful to the present and to the future. Have a great day, y'all.
There it is, folks. Have a great day. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We got through all the stories today. Amen. Won't he do it? Don't forget to check us out tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And on Wednesday and on Thursday. We are coming up on our TCP in the Morning show break. We are 2 weeks away from having our 1 week break. So we're going to give it to you like we can for these next 2 weeks. And then we are going to be taking a week off to get ready for the springtime. Cannot wait. A lot of great things coming down the avenue for the TCP network. Emphasis on the THE. Folks, going to leave you with this quote from my namesake, Brother El Shabazz, better known as Malcolm X. And it reads as I follow. So I have to stand here today as what I was when I was born, a black man. Before there was any such thing as a Republican or a Democrat, we were black. Before there was any such thing as a Mason or an Elk, we were black. Before there was any such thing as a Jew or a Christian, we were black. In fact, before there was any such thing as America, we were black. And after America has long passed from the scene, there will still be black people. I'm going to tell you like it really is, folks. Every election year, these politicians are set up here to pacify us. Don't let them pacify us anymore. On that note, folks, get active, get involved, and we'll see you in church.
Ha ha. Preach.
This is Asad. This is your penny.com health minute. In part 2 of our healthcare terminology, we begin with the phrase out-of-pocket maximum, which is the most money in the form of deductibles, co-pays, and co-insurances you can pay each year, regardless of how much medical care you use. Do you need prescription medication? Well, penny.com has provided a convenient way for you to look at the plans you're considering to see how much your prescription could cost. Network is also a key term you will continuously see while navigating penny.com. Your network is compiled of healthcare providers and facilities your insurer has contracted with. Do you want to include your doctor in your plan? No worries. You can use Penny's provider directory to see if your provider is included in your plan. Signing up for healthcare coverage can be intimidating. Luckily, Penny.com has made it easier for all of us. This is Asarj, and this was your Penny.com Health